Master, who was the very first Buddha? Asked Ananda, his voice breaking the evening stillness. The question lingered in the air, hanging like the last rays of the setting sun over the monastery courtyard. The young disciples gathered around, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the lanterns. They had been studying the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha for months, but now Ananda's question had stirred a deeper curiosity among them. The master, seated under the ancient Bodhi tree, smiled warmly. His eyes, though aged, sparkled with the wisdom of countless teachings. "Ah, Ananda," he replied softly, "a profound question indeed. Many believe that Shakyamuni Buddha, our great teacher, was the first, but this is not the case. The path of enlightenment is as old as time itself, traversed by many before him." The disciples leaned in closer, eager to hear more. "But if Shakyamuni was not the first," Li Wei, another disciple, interjected, "then who was? And how many Buddhas have there been?" The master nodded, sensing the awakening of their deeper curiosity. "There have been many Buddhas, my dear students," he began. "Today, I will share with you the stories of the 7 Buddhas of the past, each one a beacon of wisdom and compassion who walked this path long before Shakyamuni. Their stories are a testament to the timeless nature of the Dharma and the endless potential within each of us to awaken." With that, the master closed his eyes briefly, as if drawing from the deep well of ancient knowledge. When he opened them again, he began to weave a tale that would transport his disciples through countless eons, illuminating the lives of the Buddhas who came before. In Buddhist culture, the concept of Buddhas encompasses a vast number of enlightened beings who have appeared across countless eons. A Buddha is an enlightened being who has achieved complete and perfect enlightenment, Samma Sambodhi, and is capable of teaching the Dharma, the path to enlightenment, to others. The term Buddha itself means awakened one and refers to those who have awakened to the true nature of reality and attained liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara. The first Buddha mentioned in many Buddhist scriptures is not necessarily the first to exist in the absolute sense, but rather the first within a specific context, such as our current world cycle. This perspective underscores the idea that enlightenment is a recurring phenomenon throughout the universe's endless cycles, not a one-time event confined to our world. The earliest Buddhist texts, such as the Pali Canon, mention a set of Buddhas known as the 7 Buddhas of the past, Satta Samma Sambodhi. These Buddhas are said to have appeared before Shakyamuni Buddha and are considered fully enlightened beings. This list of 7 Buddhas provides a glimpse into the vastness of time and the numerous appearances of enlightened beings. The traditional list includes 1. Vipassana Buddha, 91 eons ago, 2. Sikhi Buddha, 31 eons ago, 3. Vessabhu Buddha, 31 eons ago, 4. Kakusanda Buddha, in the current Bodhikalpa, the fortunate eon, 5. Kagamana Buddha, in the current Bodhikalpa, 6. Kassapa Buddha, in the current Bodhikalpa, 7. Shakyamuni Buddha, the current Buddha of the present age. Each of these 7 Buddhas has a unique story, detailing their path to enlightenment, their teachings, and their role in guiding beings towards liberation. Let's explore the lives of these Buddhas more deeply. 1. Vipassana Buddha, timeline and background. Vipassana Buddha appeared 91 eons ago, an unimaginable span of time that emphasizes the deep historical roots of Buddhist teachings. He lived for an incredibly long period of 80,000 years, a lifespan typical for beings in that era. He was born in the city of Bandamati, with his parents being King Banduma and Queen Bandamati. His long life and unique circumstances reflect a time when human experiences were vastly different from those today. Path to enlightenment. At the age of 8,000 years, Vipassana Buddha renounced his royal life to seek spiritual awakening. He practiced intense austerities for 8 months, demonstrating a profound commitment to the spiritual path. He attained enlightenment under the Ajapala tree, a significant location in Buddhist lore. His chief disciples, Ka and Tissa, and his attendant, Asoka, were instrumental in his teachings, helping to spread the Dharma far and wide, teachings and nirvana. Throughout his life, Vipassana Buddha held 3 great assemblies, where he gathered his followers and imparted his teachings. These assemblies were crucial in establishing the Buddhist community and ensuring the transmission of his insights. Vipassana Buddha entered nirvana at the age of 80,000 years, marking the end of his earthly existence but leaving behind a lasting spiritual legacy. 2. Sikhi Buddha, O timeline and background. Sikhi Buddha appeared 31 eons ago, another vast expanse of time that showcases the continuity of enlightenment through different ages. Born in the city of Aranavati to King Aruv and Queen Padmavati, he was married to Sabakama and had a son named Achala. His story reflects a similar royal background as other Buddhas, highlighting the theme of renouncing worldly power for spiritual pursuit, O path to enlightenment. At 7,000 years old, Sikhi Buddha left his home to become an ascetic, demonstrating the timeless quest for truth that transcends age and societal status. After 6 months of severe austerities, he attained enlightenment under a Parikataka tree. His chief disciples were Abhibhu and Sambhava, with Ananda serving as his attendant. These relationships were pivotal in his mission to share the Dharma with others, O teachings and nirvana. Sikhi Buddha lived for 70,000 years, during which he held 3 major assemblies to disseminate his teachings. His longevity and dedication underscore the enduring nature of the Buddhist path. He entered nirvana at the age of 70,000 years, leaving behind a profound spiritual influence. 3. Vessabhu Buddha, O timeline and background. Vessabhu Buddha also appeared 31 eons ago, sharing a similar time frame with Sikhi Buddha. His birthplace was the city of Anupama, and his parents were King Sapadatta and Queen Yasavati. He married Susita and had a son named Suppabuddha, reflecting the recurring theme of royal heritage and the choice to renounce worldly life. O path to enlightenment. Vessabhu Buddha renounced his life at the age of 6,000 years, showing once again the powerful call of spiritual life over worldly pleasures. He attained enlightenment under a Mahasona tree after only 7 days of meditation, a testament to his intense spiritual capabilities. His chief disciples, Sona and Uttara, along with his attendant, Upasina, were integral to his teachings and the propagation of his message. O teachings and nirvana. Vessabhu Buddha held 3 great assemblies during his lifetime, gathering many followers to hear his teachings. He lived for 60,000 years, during which time he greatly influenced his era with the Dharma. He entered nirvana at that age, concluding his earthly journey. 4. Kakusanda Buddha, O timeline and background. Kakusanda Buddha appeared in the current eon, Bodhikalpa, during a fortunate age for spiritual awakening. He was born in Kemavati city to King Ajadatta and Queen Visakha. His wife was Vairokamana, and he had a son named Uttara, continuing the tradition of a royal background leading to a renunciation of worldly life. O path to enlightenment. Kakusanda Buddha left the household life at the age of 4,000 years and attained enlightenment under a sarisa tree. His chief disciples, Vidura and Sanjiva, and his attendant, Bodhija, played crucial roles in his teachings, which attracted thousands of followers who attained arahantship, a state of spiritual purity and liberation. O teachings and nirvana. Throughout his 40,000-year lifespan, Kakusanda Buddha preached to many, fostering a deep understanding of the Dharma among his followers. He entered nirvana at that age, marking the end of his earthly teachings but leaving a lasting impact. 5. Kagamana Buddha, O timeline and background. Kagamana Buddha also appeared in the current eon, in a time conducive to spiritual development. He was born in Sopavati to King Yanadatta and Queen Uttara. His wife was Rusagatta, and his son was Satyavaha. His life story mirrors those of previous Buddhas, emphasizing the theme of renunciation and spiritual dedication. O path to enlightenment. Kagamana Buddha renounced the world at 3,000 years of age, seeking spiritual awakening over worldly achievements. After a year of meditation under a Adumbra tree, he attained enlightenment. His chief disciples, Bhayosa and Uttara, along with his attendant, Satija, were pivotal in his mission to spread the Dharma. O teachings and nirvana. He held 3 assemblies during his lifetime, ensuring his teachings were passed down to future generations. Kagamana Buddha lived for 30,000 years, during which time he greatly impacted the spiritual landscape of his era. He entered nirvana at that age, concluding his journey but leaving behind a legacy of enlightenment. 6. Kassapa Buddha, O timeline and background. Kassapa Buddha appeared in the current eon and was born in Varanasi to parents Brahmadatta and Dhanavadi. He married Sananda and had a son named Vijayatasena. His life follows the familiar pattern of royal birth leading to a profound spiritual quest, O path to enlightenment. At 2,000 years of age, Kassapa Buddha renounced his royal life, choosing the path of asceticism and meditation over the pleasures of the palace. After a week of meditation under a banyan tree, he attained enlightenment. His chief disciples were Tissa and Bharadvaja, and his attendant was Savamita, all of whom were instrumental in his teachings, O teachings and nirvana. Kassapa Buddha held 3 assemblies during his life, gathering a vast community of followers who were inspired by his teachings. He lived for 20,000 years, during which he imparted wisdom and guidance to countless beings. He entered nirvana at that age, concluding his earthly existence but leaving a profound spiritual legacy. 7. Shakyamuni Buddha, Gautama Buddha, O timeline and background. Shakyamuni Buddha is the most recent Buddha in the current eon. Born in Lumbini, now in Nepal, to King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. His early life was marked by comfort and privilege, married to Yasodhara and fathering a son, Rahula, O path to enlightenment. At the age of 29, Shakyamuni Buddha renounced his princely life, choosing to seek spiritual truths over worldly success. After practicing severe austerities and meditation, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. His chief disciples were Sariputta and Moggallana, and his attendant was Ananda, all of whom played key roles in his mission to spread the Dharma, O teachings and nirvana. Shakyamuni Buddha lived for approximately 80 years, during which time he founded the monastic community and shared his teachings widely, establishing the foundation of what we now know as Buddhism. He entered nirvana at that age, leaving behind a rich spiritual tradition that continues to inspire millions around the world. The concept of the future Buddha, Maitreya Buddha. O according to Buddhist tradition, Maitreya Buddha is the future Buddha who will appear on earth after the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha have completely disappeared. Maitreya is currently believed to be residing in the Tushita heaven, preparing to be reborn on earth when the time is right to teach the Dharma once again. O the prophecy of Maitreya emphasizes a future time of peace, love, and enlightenment. His coming is anticipated with great reverence, and he symbolizes hope for a renewed path to enlightenment in a future era. The scriptures mention that the number of Buddhas is as countless as the sands of the Ganges River. This metaphorical expression suggests that the concept of Buddhas extends far beyond what the human mind can comprehend. The idea of countless Buddhas illustrates the infinite potential for enlightenment that exists in the universe and highlights the recurring nature of awakening throughout endless cycles of time. When a Brahmin once asked Shakyamuni Buddha about the beginning and the end of all Buddhas, the Buddha remained silent, indicating that such knowledge is not essential for achieving enlightenment. Instead, the focus should be on the practice of the Dharma, which directly leads to enlightenment and the cessation of suffering. This teaching underscores the practical aspect of Buddhism, which emphasizes direct experience and personal transformation over abstract metaphysical speculation. In conclusion, the 7 past Buddhas, including Shakyamuni Buddha, represent the continuous presence of enlightened beings throughout countless eons. Each Buddha appears in the world to teach the Dharma, leading sentient beings towards liberation and enlightenment. The stories of these Buddhas emphasize the importance of wisdom, compassion, and perseverance on the path to enlightenment. The concept of the Buddhas, including future Buddhas like Maitreya, highlights the timeless and boundless nature of enlightenment. This understanding serves as a reminder of the infinite potential within all beings to achieve Buddhahood, encouraging a deeper commitment to the path of spiritual practice and self-transformation. As the master finished recounting the life of the last of the 7 Buddhas, the knight had fully embraced the monastery. The stars glittered above like a million distant lamps, and a calm stillness settled over the courtyard. The disciples sat in silent contemplation, each reflecting on the profound stories they had just heard. Breaking the silence, Ananda asked, "Master, if there have been so many Buddhas in the past, and there will be more in the future, what does this mean for us? Can any of us become a Buddha too?" The Master's eyes softened, filled with both compassion and the weight of a timeless truth. He looked at his eager students, their faces illuminated by the moonlight, and replied, "Yes, Ananda. The teachings of the Buddhas are not just stories of the past, they are living lessons for all of us. Every Buddha who has walked this earth did so to show us that enlightenment is possible for anyone. The path to awakening lies within each of you, just as it did for the Buddhas of the past." The disciples listened intently, their hearts stirred by the possibility of such a profound transformation. "But Master," Li Wei inquired softly, "how do we walk this path? How do we begin our journey to enlightenment?" The Master smiled gently. "The journey begins with a single step, a commitment to understanding yourself and the nature of reality. It is a path of compassion, wisdom, and mindful practice. The Buddhas before us have shown that it is not an easy journey, but it is one worth taking. By cultivating kindness, patience, and awareness in your daily lives, you are already walking the path. Remember, enlightenment is not a distant goal but a state of being that unfolds gradually, with each mindful breath and compassionate action." He paused, allowing his words to settle in. The stories of the 7 Buddhas teach us that enlightenment is not reserved for the few but is a potential that exists within all beings. You are all capable of this great awakening if you dedicate yourselves to the practice and live with an open heart and a clear mind. The disciples nodded, their spirits uplifted by the Master's words. They felt a renewed sense of purpose, understanding that their journey was just beginning and that the path of the Buddhas stretched out before them, illuminated by the wisdom of the ages. The Master gazed at his disciples with a sense of profound peace. "Now, my dear students, let us take these teachings to heart. Let us carry the light of the Buddhas within us, guiding us on our path. And remember, no matter how dark the night, the dawn of enlightenment is always within reach." With those words, the Master rose slowly and motioned for his disciples to do the same. Together, they bowed in gratitude to the ancient Bodhi tree that had witnessed so many teachings, so many seekers, and so many awakenings. As they turned to walk back to their quarters, the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, as if echoing the eternal truth that enlightenment is indeed a journey we all can take.